What if the greatest fulfillment came not from what you gain, but from what you give? Welcome to your Monday message. I am Dharma Shakti, your host with your weekly dose of something inspirational. Today I will be touching on a theme, a verse, an idea, a concept that is written all throughout the Mahābhārata and through the Puranic texts. The Mahābhārata teaches service as a path to merit and meaning. Sometimes in life we are gaining and acquiring and achieving so much, yet somehow we don't feel fulfilled. And often what our life is lacking is the fulfillment that we get from giving and serving and contributing to others and uplifting others. And that's what we're going to touch on today. The Sanskrit for this concept in the Mahābhārata is Paropakāraḥ punyāya. Paropakāraḥ punyāya. Helping others is merit, is the essence of this verse. There's a second part to this verse that is sort of countering it, saying that when we don't, that it's, the word they use is sin, but really when they use the word sin in Vedic text means it's very counter to our true nature. Right? Not like the same as the way Christianity sees sin, but when we are going against the true nature of who we are and the way that we are designed as human beings. And so this verse implies that it is in our very nature. We are hardwired to be givers, but through cultural conditioning, we are trained to be consumers, to be takers. Imagine if we lived in a world full of givers. Nobody would have lack. But we unfortunately live in a world that is majority takers. And so we see so much lack and so much people who have a lot and so many people who have very little. But if we could all learn the great benefits of giving, then we would really improve the quality of our communities and the quality of our societies. I'm going to unpack this for you. I don't mean to give everything away and to keep nothing for yourself. And I definitely don't mean to give from an empty cup. And I definitely don't mean that this means that you always put yourself last and that you put others first. We want to find a healthy balance of both receiving and giving. If we live in a world where everybody is a giver, that means that everybody is also receiving. So we need to include this concept into this idea of giving, and not giving from an empty cup, not giving from a place of ego, and not giving from a place of desiring to be seen. We're not talking about any of that. We're talking about giving just for the sake of giving. Let me also unpack this word merit, right? Because this verse, Paropakāraḥ punyāya, means helping others is merit. What does this word merit even mean? Merit means that this, whatever action you're doing that has merit, has an inherent quality of being good, worthwhile, or deserving of your time and your energy. This verse, or this concept found all throughout the Puranas, is meaning to really convey this idea that service as Dharma, that part of our Dharma is including the practice of service, which really translates to the joy of helping others. That we can get great joy, great fulfillment in life, not the only place, but an important place that we shouldn't ignore, is giving to others brings a lot of joy. So the Mahābhārata is an epic, and it's classified as an itihasa, which is more about historical stories and historical timelines, historical events that have happened, as opposed to the text of the Upanishads. You have the Puranas. These are more texts that convey teachings. Okay, let's get into the verse. This theme of serving others as merit, helping others as merit, is also found all over the Puranas, which is a separate body of literature from the Mahābhārata. Helping others and uplifting others has an inherent quality of being good and worthwhile and deserving of your time and your energy. Let's very quickly break down the Sanskrit of this verse from the Mahābhārata. Para means others, and upakara, service and helping. Punyāya, virtue, merit, or sacredness. So the simple explanation of this is serving others selflessly purifies and elevates the heart. And as always, I'm going to give you 5 key points, just some modern day takeaways from this very ancient text. Point number 1, Dharma includes service to others. You know, now that yoga has gotten to become so mainstream and spirituality has become so mainstream, you hear this word Dharma thrown around a lot. Like, what is my purpose? Dharma does mean purpose, but it also has other contexts or other connotations within the word. And even within the Vedic literature, there are different dharmas that we have. There is our first and foremost inherent dharma, which is to be connected to divinity. This is why we all have a natural yearning to know what is the source of all things, where do we come from, who am I? That's why we all have a natural inclination to ask these questions. So dharma also means purpose, but it's got more layers to it than the simplicity of just knowing what am I meant to do, what is my career. It's not, your dharma is not always directly connected to your career. Okay, let's just unpack this for a minute. But dharma does include service to others. Yoga and dharma aren't just personal things, they are relational practices. Service, or in the Sanskrit word seva, is part of living in harmony with the world. Not just how do I live in harmony with myself and with source, but like as I'm in this world pursuing that path of being more in harmony with myself and my source, I have to still interact with the world. And so there's a layer of dharma that includes how we show up to the world around us. And an inherent part of knowing your purpose and your dharma is so that you can contribute to society, so that you can contribute to your community, so that you can contribute to your family and your friends. But in the heart of service, aligned with your dharma, a true resting and knowing in self, right? Your spiritual self and your human self. The gifts that you are inherently ingrained with in this lifetime as the person that you are today, right? So dharma isn't just about you. It isn't just about knowing your purpose. It is about aligning with self in such a way that you can excavate your purpose so that you can contribute to society, so that you can uplift the people around you with those skills and those gifts that you have. It really, really is about knowing yourself so that you can show up well for others while you're out there in the world. So how can we practice this? We're going to look for small opportunities to serve daily. You don't have to make this a big thing. You don't have to start some big nonprofit organization that is a charity. You don't need to be a huge philanthropist. You can do small things every day to serve those that are around you. Offer help, listen fully, and even just sharing your kindness is one way that you can be of service to others. Ask yourself, who can I uplift today? Who can I uplift today? The stranger in the supermarket, my friend that I haven't spoken to in a while, my kids, how can I go out of my way to just help my kids in a different way? How can I be of service to my spouse? Even if that service is giving them space or taking time to make connection, you got to figure it out. Like, how can I really be of service to others? And in the essence of how can I be of service to others, it means how can I uplift others? How can I give to others in a way that it uplifts them? Point number 2, helping others expands the heart. Really, service shifts our focus from me to we. It softens our ego and creates compassion. Now, I think that it gets a little trickier here because sometimes we think we go into something to make it about we, but underneath it all, the ego has tricked us and really it's about me. We're doing the service because we're expecting something in return. True service, true seva, especially in the heart of bhakti, in the heart of karma yoga, is we're not expecting anything in return. We're not expecting even an acknowledgement of what we've done. We're just doing it for the sake of it feels good to know that I have contributed to somebody else. Without the acknowledgement, without the accolades, without the thank yous or the hugs or even the awareness that we've helped somebody. from that other person, that other somebody. We're just simply doing it because in our hearts we know it's good to do, and it feels good to do things that are good to do. So how can we practice this? We can volunteer our time. We can take time out of our week and our day to mentor people, to share our wisdom with others, or simply just be present when we are with others and interacting with others. These acts expand empathy and open the heart. We're not trying to fix something. We're not trying to solve somebody else's problem. We need to think of serving others as, how can I uplift that person? How can I encourage that person? How can I empower that person? Not, how can I do something nice for them so that they acknowledge me? So how this might apply, how can we actually put this into application? It might look like sending one encouraging message to someone today who really might need it. For no reason, out of the blue, you might just send them a message and say, hey, you know what? I haven't talked to you in a while, but I just want you to know that I love you and I really believe in you. Thank you for being a part of my life. Such a simple little thing can really uplift somebody. Reminding somebody that they're doing a great job, even though they're struggling and things aren't perfect. Reminding somebody how much you appreciate the way that they are present for you, or participating in what you're doing, or for the work that they're putting in. Finding ways to be encouraging, uplifting, and empowering is a great way to be of service to others. Point number 3, service purifies selfish motives. Real true service should be a practice that is purifying your heart and your selfish motives. So when you give selflessly, you clear away ego-driven desires. The key is, when you give selflessly, you clear away ego-driven desires. True seva, true service, can really refine the heart, which in turn makes your heart what we call more sattvic, more pure and light. When we just give from a place of, because we know that there's good in giving, it has a way of purifying our hearts. Now, when we give from a place of really wanting to be acknowledged or hoping that we're going to get something in return, this is not the same kind of giving. This is giving that has selfish motives. And I don't mean selfish is always bad, but when we give from a place of, I hope that somebody will acknowledge my giving or tell me that I'm great because I give, someone will repay me for my giving, this is not a pure giving. It's a different kind of service. And what we're talking about is a pure-hearted service, a pure form of giving. So how do we practice this? We can offer help without expectation or recognition in return. Can you find ways to do one anonymous act of kindness this week? No one needs to know but you. This kind of giving really purifies the heart. I just want to share something really quickly. One really great memory and gift that I got from my mom growing up was every Christmas, my mom would make all kinds of baked goods, and she really specialized in fudge. But we would get really excited as kids to put these plates together with all the different cookies that she made and the fudge, and wrap it up and bow tie it up. And then we would pile up in the van, go to all of our friends' houses, put this little plate of goodies on the porch and ring the doorbell and run away before anyone saw us. And it was such a wonderful act of just, it felt good to just leave a treat on the door, knowing that those people would have no idea who left it there. I'm sure as time went on, most people in the community knew that that was something that my mom did. But as kids, it felt really exciting and really exhilarating to just like drop a surprise and know that somebody would open their door to some baked goods and not know who did it, but that they would just enjoy it. And it seemed like just a fun, silly thing that we did as kids. But when I look back as an adult, I really believe that it was things like that that instilled this concept of, it feels good to just give without anybody saying, hey, thank you for doing that. But to just know that like we were some secret angel that did something that uplifted somebody's day for no good reason. Well, it was for good reason, but they didn't feel like they did something to earn a plate of baked goods. They just received something amazing, and I received the good feeling of, oh man, I just did something really nice for somebody, and that just feels really good. I didn't need them to tell me, thank you for dropping off those baked goods. It was just fun to know that those people received something and they got the joy of eating sweet treats, and that it was just a surprise. So see if you can find ways to do things that are anonymous. No one needs to know but you that you're doing that thing. That's how you know that you're really giving from a place of true heart instead of giving from a place of expectation. Point number 4. Giving creates meaning beyond material success. You know, our achievements fade and the impact of giving lasts. It's just that simple. Our achievements will fade, but the impact of giving lasts for a long time. Serving others anchors life in deeper meaning. If you're looking for more meaning in life, sometimes it just really, it can boost your sense of meaning in life when you are doing something to uplift and encourage and inspire others. How can we practice this? Shift from asking, what can I get, to what can I give? We move through almost every single day being conditioned to be consumers around what can I get? What are you doing for me? And I'm not saying that sometimes that isn't an important conversation to have in relationships that don't feel balanced or equal. This is a separate conversation. What I'm talking about right now is just this mood of service and giving. So asking yourself, what can I give? What have I contributed today? Not because anybody asked me, not because anybody requested it, because I just simply feel like I want to contribute, and that contribution has an impact, and that makes me feel good at heart. So you can apply this by choosing one area in your life or in your community where you can contribute consistently, with your family, with your workplace, with different circles that you belong to, different parts of the community that you can give to. Find something, find some place where you can give. Even the littlest of bit is going to go a long way to how it uplifts your own heart and the impact that it has on so many others. Point number 5, true service uplifts both the giver and the receiver. Service isn't one-sided. When you give, you also receive joy, connection, and purpose. Just like the story I shared with you about the baked goods that I did with my mom. Shout out to my mom. Thank you so much for raising us and doing that. So true pure-hearted service is never one-sided. That's really the true beauty of it, is that it is uplifting someone else, and in the process you're feeling good doing it. And I don't mean that you feel good because they thanked you for it. It just feels good to do it, to know that you did something that has a positive impact on somebody else. Just that feels good, and you receive joy from doing it. You feel connection when you do it, and it gives your life more purpose and more meaning when you know that you're contributing in a way that has impact. So how can we practice this? See service as mutual growth and not charity. It's not about charity. It's about mutual growth. As I am making the effort to uplift others simply because it's good to do so, I also am getting good benefits. We're not doing it just for those good benefits, but there's still that benefit there. We receive joy from giving joy to others. And the way that you can really make sure that you experience this is that after you've served somebody or something, some movement or some mission, some person, some community, pause and reflect on how the act also nourished you. Right? Like, I get a lot of joy from knowing that I'm really showing up as a mom and being there for my kids. I get a lot of joy from knowing that I'm taking time to send a message to a friend and just let them know that they matter to me and that they're important and that they have a place in this world. Not because of whatever they say to me, but just for the sake of doing it makes me feel nourished, makes me feel like I'm making a good contribution, and that in itself feels meaningful and purposeful and makes me feel like I have some contribution that I can feel good about. Okay, so just to summarize all of this, what we are talking about is volunteering, offering mentorship, or doing daily acts of kindness, weekly acts or a monthly act or one yearly act of kindness. And we're talking about shifting from what can I get to how can I serve. And so here are some really great reflective questions that you can just ponder for a moment. How am I called to serve in this particular season of my life? Every season of your life, it'll be different. When I was younger, we were doing the plate of goodies with my mom. Now I have my own way of serving the community and really contributing. Okay, I'm talking about outside of the work that I do. That's one aspect of it. But outside of the work environment, what am I doing in my own personal life to give just for the sake of giving? How am I called to serve in this season of my life? Who in my life could benefit from my help? What gifts do I naturally share, and how can I do that more? How do I feel after helping others? And a good question to ask is, where do I resist service and why? Just get really clear on that. And what would my life feel like if service was a core value? And again, I do not mean giving from an empty cup or giving in service because you're told that it'll score you extra points to, go wherever you think you need to go in the afterlife. I'm talking about giving for the sake of contribution in the world that has an impact, that makes you feel good about the impact that you've had. Again, not from getting recognition or accolades or achievements from it, but just for the sake of it feels good to uplift and encourage and support others because it's coming from my heart. So what would my life feel like if service was a core value of mine? And on that note, I'll leave you with these words of encouragement. Real true service from the heart is not something that depletes you. It actually is something that will multiply joy. So make sure that you are being very self-aware as you are doing service. Your service should be from a place that isn't depleting you, but is multiplying your joy. There's a difference between obligation and service, or doing service out of obligation rather than doing service from the heart. So you really, really got to tune in with self and make sure that you're giving from that pure heart space. And if you find yourself asking afterwards, why didn't they thank me? Why didn't anybody recognize me? Why didn't anybody tell me I did a great job? That's a good indication that you're still serving from a place of ego. Okay, so really checking in. Am I serving from a place of ego? Or am I serving from a place of obligation? Or am I serving from a place of this is a core value? And you'll know that you're serving from that place of core value when it multiplies your joy without receiving anything in return. And in closing, in the philosophy of yoga, through almost every single yogic lineage and literature, serving others is one of the highest forms of yoga. Again, not from a place of obligation and not from a place of ego, but just from the place of, I want to contribute to uplift and encourage and inspire and help others. This is a core theme and value within all yoga philosophy. Serving others is one of the highest forms of yoga. If you want to get a deeper dive into these concepts and do your own journaling after you've watched this video, you're going to head over to my online platform called the Empowered Living Community. I'll put the link down below for you to click over there and get that downloadable PDF to actually sit and write out the answers and giving you deeper questions to really reflect on if this is something that you really want to bring into your life or refine as something that you're doing in your life. If you liked this video, please hit the like button. If you haven't yet, subscribe to my channel to get your weekly dose of inspiration, where I am combining spiritual wisdom and personal development. How do we take these ancient teachings and really apply them to our modern day lives today? That's what these videos are for. And as always, please, I love it when you drop a comment below. I love to hear what you thought about this video, what resonated, what didn't resonate, what you're struggling with here, or what you're really benefiting from in this topic of conversation. Otherwise, have an amazing week. Do something kind and uplifting and generous to somebody just for the sake of it feels good to do it, and maybe even do it anonymously. All right, have a beautiful week. Happy Monday, and I will see you next time. Peace and blessings from my heart to yours. And remember to keep that head held high and that heart open wide. Namaste.